Good day, everyone. It was a big opportunity for being part of this day session with you, our dear parents and teachers. So let me introduce first myself. So what are the community works that I'm doing for the past few years of my life? So um, I have been actively involved in psychosocial lectures to Filipino students, parents, and organization in Dubai and Northern Emirates. A frequent speaker on mental health in the Philippines and United Arab Emirates for almost 5 years now. I also conduct online counseling in Ugat Sandaline, sponsored by the Ateneo de Manila University as a volunteer, and doing webinar series on my own ways to help the affected children during this pandemic. I'm also one of the board of directors of the Psychological Association of the Philippines, Dubai chapter. I've been one of the different forum that advocates the youth and what they can do for our community. It has been an inspiration to every youth, and it has been a great impact on their lives of that pursue education and make it a great step on achieving something in life. I'm still working with the community that encourages mental health interventions to parents and students of determination, further progress and development for free to those Filipino community that needs my recommendation. So my heart of helping the community, especially the youth, is my number one advocacy in whatever season I have in my life. Okay? So I will stop sharing this one and so I could have my presentation for this webinar. So I was given the task to talk about the role of the parents during online classes. So I'd like to congratulate the parents and the teachers for being dedicated, bringing and connecting different types of strategies to our students, even it's really hard during this pandemic, okay, amidst of this COVID-19. There are different challenges also for the parents on how they will continue to support their children, okay, in spite of working at home or while working at the same time teaching your children. Okay. So again, I'm Dr. Malaya. So I'm an educational psychologist, a behavioral therapist as well, and a mental health advocate. Okay, so let me just show you some of the pictures that I have been through a lot of webinars, trainings, okay, seminars way back before, not just in the Philippines, but across the United Arab Emirates. I've also partnered with the Department of Health, the Department of Education, and other NGOs in providing interventions, okay, webinars, and different trainings to our frontliners, teachers, and of course, students. Okay. So, been involved also in the different distance learning summit through online, and even responded to the call of the local government, okay, in conducting different sessions of psychological first aid and training to the youth, and not just the youth, but of course the community. So before we start, may I request everyone to please show your smile and show your beautiful smile, smiling faces that are dear parents. Okay, so you've been so busy bringing, okay, and supporting, okay, providing for your family, for your children, and of course for our dear parents. Okay, one of I really admire how you really work hard for your children and to other teachers as well. Okay, so again, show your smile. Okay, so before we start, smiling bring a lot of serotonin and melatonin. It activates a lot of chemicals in our brain. It also changes mood and emotions if you have a tiring day or you have some troubles within the day or you have a lot of worries in your thoughts. So, okay, so I guess you're all have the big smile now. So the main agenda of this talk It's more on understanding why children have the high energy needs and attention difficulties, and understanding sensory processing among young and, of course, different ages of um, learners. Okay, what parents can do through this online, another way for us to extend uh, our exhausted abilities in some point na matutulungan natin mas lalo na ang ating mga anak during the online class or distance learning. And what are the activities that they could do? What are the ideas that they could do while learning? Okay, so learning will be fun at the same time. Okay, so we all know because of this COVID-19 and the situation that we have, children are experiencing some behavioral outbursts. And behavioral outbursts, what are those? Crying spells, yung bigyan na ng iiyak, okay? Nagtatantrum sila, okay? Irritability. Okay, before naman, you could observe them na napaka-jolly, to biglang mag-change yung behavior. Then refusal to engage in e-learning, most especially if it's distance learning, they will have some excuses already before the start of the lessons. Okay? Attention difficulties, okay, if you would observe them, napaka-short ng span in terms of listening and following the instruction on the online classes. And syempre, we have also the increase of screen time. Okay, we all know that parents are very busy and sometimes the alternative is letting them use, okay, as much as they want the social media or the gadget just to team them, di ba? Sige, para hindi na sila magkulit, okay, or hindi na umiyak. You just give in on the things that they want. So, also, one of the difficulties that parents are experiencing right now is the sleeping difficulties of their child, di ba? So, if there is increase of screen time, correlated na to sa, syempre, wala na silang, kumbaga, tamang oras ng pagtulog, which is very important for the development of their brain, di ba, for their age. So, because of this uncertainty, it becomes overwhelming, not just for our children, but even for adults, right? So we have a lot of things to do, the quarantine, okay, the protocols. Most of our students are staying at home, okay. There are a lot of things to avoid, to make sure that they are healthy and safe because of this COVID-19 and the pandemic itself. Okay? So once it's overwhelming, what happened? We have three areas which is very. Some of these are familiar to us. Okay, what are those? We have the psychological, environmental, and biological. So ito yung mga naaapektuhan sa ating mga estudyante. Okay, so what are the things that we should know as parents? Okay, what are the things that we have to identify na factors that may influence the sudden change of their behavior? First is the psychological. So psychological goes with the role reversal. Okay, so there are points that they manipulate already, okay, through the tantrums and lot of behavioral outbursts para lang sundin sila ng mga magulang nila. Okay, and the parents will submit. Okay, so bumaliktad. Okay, parents will submit just to give in what the child wants. So lack of interaction with peers, napapasok din dito yung withdrawal, like social withdrawal. Because of the sudden change of their routine, they don't want to talk anymore to other people, they don't want to go out anymore. And the sudden impact of the pandemic is the loss, the grief, and uncertainty of worrying of what will happen in the future. There are some point that students will ask me, Dok, kailan ba ito matatapos? Kailan ba matatapos itong sitwasyon namin that we are very limited. Okay, so yung access nila to the environment is really very limited because of the situation. And that goes with the environmental. Okay? The lack of or changing routine. Okay? So ito yung pinaka talaga visible sa ating mga estudyante. No? And as parents, because we are working, mom and dad, both of them are working, we neglect the routine. Parang we let them do what they want after the online classes. So that goes with lack of challenging activities and routine that makes them more sustainable in terms of learning. Papasok na din yung distractions. And what are the distractions? And of course, the social media, the gadgets, okay, distraction of the surroundings, okay, the peer pressure. So lahat na yun papasok. And increased screen time is one of the very noticeable behavior for our children, for our students. No? Aside from the online class, after the lesson, they immediately touch or use their gadgets and do a lot of TikTok, social media, and gaming. So that is one of the causal of what? Difficulty of sleeping, ayan, hindi na makatulog, wala nang routine, okay, wala nang ganang kumain, hindi na nakakapag-socialize, okay. And sensory deprivation, ibig sabihin, they just sit down and do a lot of screen time. So, sabi nga sa research, the more you sit down and the more you sit, it's for you to be more sick, di ba? So, the more you move, increases the ability for you to stay what? Be more relaxed, okay, concentrated, and be more activated with the things that you really need for that specific day. Within, it should also goes with your brain structure. No? So, the biological is the developing brain. Okay, so at the age of early stages of development of our students, lalo na if it's in the elementary or high school graders, the executive functioning is still developing. That is goes with decision making, okay? So logical thinking. So all of the structure of executive functioning is not yet developed. Until they reach the age of 18 to 25, that's the time that they can be able to identify, this is not good for me. Okay, these are things that I have to do. But until they don't reach the full developmental stage, parents should be there to guide them, okay, to support them. That's why in all these three, psychological, environmental, and biological, parents have the rule over these three areas, okay? Because what? Teachers are not there physically. Okay? Even if it's face-to-face na, di ba? Most of the time, sabihin natin, mas matagal yung oras ko sa school kaysa nasa bahay. But the root foundation of their behavior and intellectual and everything is coming from what? From the family, from the home. Okay? So what else? I want you to show, to see this pyramid of learning. So as parents, saan ba nagagaling tong learning ability ng anak ko? So we have here cognition, perceptual, motor, sensor, motor, and sensory. So cognition is equivalent to intellect. So it's an innate ability of your child to learn. It goes with the behavior, daily activities, and academic learning. Okay? And along with that is the auditory, visual, and attention. Okay, so this is more on the function stage. Perceptual, motor is more on that eye coordination. So mga part siya ng development. Okay? The ability, sensor, motor is also, so motor planning, ability to screen input, okay? Part of the development. So sensory goes to virtual, auditory, okay? So vertebral, okay? Tactile, so any motor activities, movement, okay? Those are part of the sensory or a system. With goals that also help in terms of achieving the cognition. Okay? Kung wala yung sensory, wala yung sensor motor, learning is really hard to be achieved. Okay? Most especially for young ones. Right? So what are the types of children? Okay, what are the types of students do we have? Okay, or in the family, you will notice there are a lot of differences. Okay, so let me just show you. We have the upper part is the energetic and quiet. The lower part is the active and passive. So in the energetic part, they call it actively seeks. Okay, more sensory information to wake up the brain ready for concentration and learning. So, ibig sabihin, learners who are a seeker, okay, it's hard for them to learn if they are not moving. Okay? So, they seek more wake-up activity, okay, moving around for them to adapt what is being taught. Quiet is waits for others to present sensory information to wake up. Okay? The brain ready for concentration and learning. Yan, kailangan ito, yung mga quiet, pinupush out. Okay? So, binibigyan sila talaga ng task. Okay? So, they wait until someone tell them to do what's the right thing to do. Okay? What are the things that should not be done on the specific learning ability. And we have also the fussy. Ano yung mga fussy? Is our children actively avoids most sensory inputs as the brain requires limited sensory information for best concentration. Okay? So sometimes they avoid the information being required because what? Maybe it's limitation of the information, ano? And sometimes, kung fidgety talaga, masyadong fidgety yung estudyante, they really avoid what is being taught o yung delivery ng learning. Okay? So, avoidance also is with students with learning difficulty mataas. Ito yung being fussy because if you read the sentence and you see the letters are being crossing around with your eyes, ano, pumupunta kung saan-saan siya, yung Z is naging B, okay? You will really avoid learning because you cannot even read what are the words na pinipresent sa'yo. So, most fussy, mostly encountering with students with learning difficulties who has dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, okay? So, distractible or the sensors, okay, more sensory information which overwhelms the organization of the brain during concentration and learning. Okay, so sensors are learners who wants to learn via what? Tactile. Okay, nahahawakan nila. Na-experience nila yung ginagawa nila. So they have different types of learners and your children might be one of these learners. So it is very important as parents to set some rules on how you're going to manage them in a way it is correlated with the type of ability that they have in terms of learning. Lalo na if it's on the online classes. So what else? All right. So here, home toolbox. As parents, I'll be sharing with you some more activities that you could do while alongside with the online classes. I really encourage parents to always set a schedule or a timetable, okay, along part with the activities, not just in the academics, but of course, letting them feel that they can play, they can enjoy while at home. So, if you will ask me, is it still visible na matuto sila while doing the new setup? Actually, this online classes will not disappear. Kahit mawala na ang pandemic, this will continue. Okay? This is a discovery where it is quite helpful for some, and some students really have some ways to strategize lang for them to enjoy online classes at the same time while at home. Okay? So we have here parents. It's very important to know these techniques. Listen, validate, and show empathy. Those are the keys that you can use to facilitate learning at home. So first, it starts with you. Ayan. So the motivation might be intrinsic or extrinsic, but it's very important that parents are the one guide and set rules inside the house. Okay, try to see COVID-19 through their eyes. So if you will just ignore them in some signals that they are showing you, telling you that mom, dad, I'm bored, okay, because of this COVID-19, and you will not do anything to let them feel that life must continue in spite of our challenges, then they could lead to overwhelming behavior. So watch your language. So how do you usually encourage them? Are you using words that are discouraging? Okay, mataas ba yung boses? Sinisigawan ba? So that language is also a way for you to show your love language to your children. So name it to tame it. So I wonder if you are feeling sad because. Ayan. So start conversation or start communicating with them. After the online class, kwentuhan time with the family. Okay? Play time with the family. Okay? Have some dinner together. Okay? So be curious most of the time because remember, students nowadays, ang kalaban talaga ng mga magulang ngayon is the social media, the platforms that they're using right now. So if you will not be curious, then you will just end up knowing that your child has this kind of situation like bullying, cyberbullying online, okay, and trapped to either cyber issues, diba? Maraming mga ganun na nangyayari. So parents should be on board, no? As much as possible when your child is not 18 years old below, okay? Remember, take over of their social media. Take over of the things that they're doing in the platform. Okay? Take over with their gadgets. Set some rules. Okay? Ensure explanation are consistent and age appropriate. Remember, your explanation is according to your child age. Okay? You cannot say, ito si Manuel is 18 and then I will do it also to Gina, which is 10, and to Andrew, which is 5 years old. So they are different in all ways in terms of learning, attitude, emotions, and how they deal with different kinds of situations in life. Okay? So parents, what are the things that we have to do? Even though, right, it's really hard, but we have to exhaust our all wings just to help our children overcome these challenges. What is the smallest step that they have to take? Okay? So parents should manage your expectation. Remember, the more you set high expectation to your child, the more your child is prone to what? Okay? Might be they will have also feeling of what? Low self-esteem because you could not recognize them. You know? Frustration level is there because their ability is like this, and then mom and dad wants me to do this and to be like this, like them. Okay. So talk to the school if you need some help. Remember, your partner in everything that you do in terms of learning is the teachers in the school. Talk to the heads, the teachers, and the community who helps learning be more easier if they will encounter some problem. Give shortened assignments or extra time. Yeah. So in assisting them in different activities, if you notice that your child is having some tantrums already or being irritable, it means that's already a signal. So shorten the assignments and give them allowance in accomplishing the task. Okay, that's why it's very important to set a timetable. No? So they will learn how to manage the activities that they have to do. And then you will also have an extension. Okay? If things are not properly accomplished, then that is an opportunity for you to go back, review, and have some time to see what's missing. Provide learning modification. So what we are doing right now with other learners is, most especially with learning difficulties, is we modify. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng modification? If broad masyado, hahatiin, i-chunk, okay, according sa ability ng bata. Okay? Kung saan ba yung bata, saan ba siya mataling matuto, okay? Tactile ba, visual ba, auditory ba? So doon tayo papasok in terms of modifying the lessons. Okay? So break talks into smaller, or tasks into smaller, more manageable components. So remember, the task is given to them ahead of time. So if it's quite overwhelming, make sure to have a smaller bite of the cake. Okay? So, manage it according to their things that they can do first. So, ito, mas medyo madali itong gawin. Okay, and then follow, and then support them in those activities that are quite hard to manage. Okay? So, being a parent is also a teacher at the same time during this online classes. So, it's really hard, but it's also a fulfilling task when you enjoy learning together with your children. Okay? And it also builds bonding, communication, and for you to see also what are the things that your child can do and the things that he cannot or she cannot do. Okay? So create a sensory opportunity. So dear parents, these are the things that you could combine with the online classes. Okay? After the online activities, okay, the academics, what other things that you can do with your children? Okay? So take 5 to 10 minutes every 30 minutes to move. So make sure you have it, you remind them, okay, after this first class, stand and go somewhere, breathe, okay, inhale, exhale, and again, when you can have a concentration again, bumalik na yung concentration, then go back to your work. Yeah? Be creative with movements. There are brain gyms, exercises na gagawin natin alongside with the talk na pwede nyong ipagawa sa kanila. So if they are feeling bored, tired, and stressed after or alongside with the online classes, these are things or activities that are very helpful. So helper role, parents are the one who help them. To remind them that if things are hard, that's why you are there, okay, to support them, even it's quite difficult. No? Heavy work, especially prior to tabletop tasks. So if it's heavy work, yung mga activities tayo na pwedeng i-inculcate sa kanila. No? So it will be more fun. Okay? Make learning activities more practical and active. Okay? Do not use jargon words or words that might have difficulty for them to be more unmotivated, di ba, sa ginagawa nila. So have dedicated space, an area for them to sit down, do the task, and of course for the online classes. Okay? Please do not let them do the online class in the bed, okay, in the kitchen, yung mga area na they should supposed to do it for eating and for sleeping. Why? We have to, what we call sleep hygiene. So pag ginagawa nila yung mga activities nila in the bed, our brain is being realigned na when it's time to sleep, they will not have the energy or the ability to sleep because the brain is concentrated for work or for studying. Kasi kaya hindi sila aantukin pag ginawa nila yun sa bed. Tawag po doon is sleep hygiene. No? So what else? Green treatment. It's very important that we see environment, okay, green areas of the at least of your home, if you have garden, or the color of the sky. So those are creative sensory opportunities that they could see more than the gadget or screen time. Okay? Right. So what else? So advocacy tip. Okay, a child should not have to earn sensory breaks. The day that they need them the most, diba, is the day that they are least likely to earn them. So, binibigay na lang natin sa kanila, diba? Oh, your reward is, I will give you break after you finish that. No, diba? It's a mandatory actually to give them breaks, even it's not, ano? So, pag reward na lang kasi, okay, they will finish it for the sake of matapos na lang. So, wala nang learning. But if you will give them in between breaks after the activity, then that makes them more motivated to do it. Ano? Even the task is really hard because you give the opportunity for them to breathe, okay, to have at least a time to see themselves or at me time for a minute. It's very important. Okay, so heavy work are these are the examples that you could have. So the toolbox, okay, so after the online classes, they could have some motor exercise, okay, playing time, okay, drawing time, play-doh time, okay, managing their table, their tasks, okay, cleaning the house, okay, so assembling things, right, in the family, gardening. So those are heavy work that you could place on their on their schedule at home while having the online classes. Okay, let's talk about screen time. So, ito yung talagang challenge for the parents because most of our children is having screen time addict. Yan. Hindi lang screen time addict, but gaming addicts is being there. No? So, in setting your rule, okay, as a parent, you will have with you avoid 2 hours prior to sleep. So at least do not let them use their gadget if they will have to rest. Matutulog na, do not touch anymore the gadget or play any kind of games. So the blue lighting blockers, okay, ito yung dahilan why it's really hard to sleep because the gadgets that we are using has this blue light. And that blue light triggers our eyes not to rest or to sleep. And so you will notice gising sila until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. because of this blue lighting. And allocate screen-free time. Okay? So they will only use the screen time during their free time. You could use the 45 to an hour, okay, to check, okay, their application, to check what are the chat on the group chat on the class or one of the classmates. It's very important also to have an access of their application or password kasi syempre at this age, they might engage to unhealthy things. Okay, so it's really important that parents should have the passwords, okay, of their social medias and the things that they are doing online. Okay, lift the guilt. Okay, so parents should be strong and be firm in setting rules inside the house. So if you always feel guilty, then you will submit to them. So that's the time na you are not helping your children. So physical activity in front of the screens are also possible. So I will teach you how we're going to facilitate physical activities in the next slide. Make sure that there is also safety. So we all know that because of the screen time, there's a lot of danger. Using TikToks, diba? One child attempted suicide because of excessive use of TikTok. Ano nakita nila yung nasa TikTok, ginaya niya na. So those are examples, no? It's very important that parents should try to consider most of the time, okay, not submitting to the wants of your children. So minimize the screen, okay, because this increases the chance to have anxiety and depression. Okay? So if hindi ito kumbaga ma-manage, mapapabayaan, okay? And that triggers also to other mental health disorder. Okay? So sleep. So what are the things that we could do to help our children in terms of managing their sleep hygiene? Okay, so first, maintain consistent bedtime routine. If it's 9, so at least before 9 p.m., they will not choose the gadget or the phone or so whatever it is. Consistent sleep and wake time. You will set time to sleep and one time they will wake up in the morning should be set as well. Give plenty of notice, so reminders, okay, and also rewards. Limit screen time for almost 2 hours before. Yeah. Limit heavy meals 2 hours before of sleep. So cool room in 17 to 19 degrees help them to have achieved this sleep hygiene. Oils in bath are also helpful. Exercise during the day, not before bedtime, is also helpful in attaining sleep hygiene. So para makatulog sila and be more concentrated and rested after the online classes. So get creative with movement breaks. So there are things that you can introduce to them, because parents are the one facilitating at home. So if the teachers cannot introduce new things, then parents should discover a lot of activities that build bonding and communication inside the house. So one of this is the therapy ball. So you could buy it online, I guess. There's a lot of therapy ball that your child can use. So after the online classes, during breaks, they could have some movements during the therapy ball, using the therapy ball. That's like with the pictures that I have here, After the online class, ano nang sumunod? Ayan, ikot-ikot na siya using the therapy ball. It's a good way to increase sensory activity of your children. Okay, what else? Okay, so animal walks. Ayan. So ito yung mga things that they could do, ano? Activities like there will be more movements. Okay? So jump like a frog. Okay, then you have to set 10 counts about jumping like a frog. So bear walk. Okay, so jump like a starfish, for example, or jump like a crab. Okay, jump like a snake. So they will follow the movements and all. So you could use this as a game and or an activity, okay, alongside with the other children that you have. Invisible chair, okay. So for example, if you feel so tired and stressed, restless, okay, you could let them, okay, play invisible chair. Okay, sit in some part of the house, okay, for you to get some movement. So encouraging them to relax, breathe in, breathe out at the same time, using or having this invisible chair activity. Okay. So what else? Why is it important to do this? Why is it important to encourage movement at home? Because these are the things that will help them learn online. If not, focus and concentration, it's really hard to achieve when we will not them move most of the time. Okay. So what else? You could have in the garden, if it's possible, you could have trampoline, okay? What else? You could see rolling in your garden area, okay? Gardening, okay? You could also, again, obstacle course. You could set some activities inside the house where they could jump, they could roll, they could discover, okay? They could sit alongside and then give rewards if it will be successful, okay, if they finish it. Resistance activities, and so those are activities that you could buy, activities kahit yung mga accessible lang sa bahay, kung hindi naman afford, di ba? Kayang-kayang magamit, with the softball, okay, play games inside the house, either it's chessball or a lot of activities that you could incorporate. And then we have also the therapeutic, okay? So you could have other activities that's tangible by the hands, yung stress ball could also give a good one, okay? And what else? Things that they could, the sand, okay? Play with the hands, okay? It's very helpful, lalo na sa tactile, no? So we have also play, okay? This, start with your hand, diba? You could have this kind of activity at home, okay? After the exhausted day, alongside with the online classes, this could be a good area where they will have logical thinking, diba? Hanapin nila, okay? So what else? Cross-motor Jenga is one of good activities that really encourages critical thinking among our students, okay, among our children. And I want also to share with this application. It's what you call breathe application, where there's meditation, So you could check, even parents can use this one, your mental health, and then there is a music, okay, a sound you could follow and meditate after a very long, tiring day among taking care of your children. Of course, you could do this as a bonding as well. Okay? And I'm really encouraging not just our parents, but of course, teachers, okay, educators, to really invest in mental health. Okay? Physical health will just follow if you have a good mental health. Okay? So mag-asawa si physical health and mental health, right? So if napapabayaan si physical health, apektado si mental health, and mental health is alongside with the physical health. So that is why mental health is really an investment. In so many ways, you could be successful in parenting, okay, in teaching, okay, in every aspects of your life, if you will have your mental health to the box. So, dear parents, okay, this is what we call brain gym exercise. Okay, sabay-sabay po tayong gawin ito, no? And this brain gym exercise, you could encourage your children to at least do it after the online classes or in between of their breaks. Okay? So, sabay-sabay po tayo. Alright. Strengthen our mind. This first exercise. Exercise 2. It's left brain. Improves concentration. Exercise 4. For logical thinking and decision making. Gives alertness. Exercise 6. Okay. Yan. So, ang tawag po dyan is brain gym exercise. So, pwede na siyang i-search sa YouTube. Okay. So, this is a fun activity. Even parents can do this one because there's a lot of activation using our hands, sensory areas in our brain, connected to our brain. Okay, so that ends my presentation, dear parents and teachers. Thank you so much for conducting this kind of webinar. Okay, so I hope we could have another set of this webinar. Okay, for the meantime, that will be an opportunity for all of the parents to be more active in, and encourage your students or children to join different activities online through the efforts of your school and setting rules at the same time, following it with what? With the encouragement of the parents. So thank you so much. It's a big an opportunity for me to share this one, and uh, it goes well alongside with the administration of this school. Thank you so much for the teachers and for the administrator, the school principal. Okay. God bless us all. Thank you so much. And if you have questions, you could email me at drmalaya08@gmail.com. Okay, to God be all the glory. Thank you.